Here we are inside the Swift Challenger Sport 544. First we will go to the main control panel and turn the 12 volt on. Once we turn the power on, we will see the condition of the leisure battery. We will be shown whether or not we have main supply connected and that we are using the leisure battery. To turn the water pump on and off, we just press this one here. Water pump needs to be on for us to be able to use any of the taps and fill the boiler up if it's been drained. If we now press the view levels, again it will just give us a condition of the leisure battery. If we were hitched up to a tow vehicle, it would also give us the voltage of that battery as well. And when we are hitched up, when we start the engine, we will get both these lights illuminated, just to let you know that the alternator of the tow vehicle is charging the batteries. If we now move down and across to the bench seats, underneath this bench seat here we have storage, but secondly, tucked just down here there is some 12 volt fuses. They are for bits and bobs, mainly on the outside of the caravan, like marker lights, etc. It is also the fuse for the 12 volt feed from the hitch to the fridge. If we now just go to the top point here, you will see this little switch that says Truma Ultra Store, and that is for your hot water on gas. So if you want to heat your hot water on gas, come to this point here. You will see it's a rocker switch. So if I now flick it up, it will heat hot water to 50 degrees, and if I flick it down, it will heat hot water to 70 degrees. Do make sure that you've taken the flue cover off outside. If it fails to light, a red light will appear. That will obviously happen if you forgot to take the flue cover off, if you've run out of gas, do not have the gas turned on, or you may have a bit of air in the system. Next, we have another switch that looks very similar to the one we've just seen, but this one will have Truma Ultra Store, but it will also have two 30 volt underneath it, so it is for the boiler on main supply. So very similar to the gas one. Flick it up, hot water at about 50, flick it down, hot water at about 70. If we now go underneath the bench seat this side, you will see the boiler just here. To drain the boiler down for winterization and travel, just come to this yellow lever here. As it sits at the moment, it's in the closed position. All we do is we lift it up. Do make sure the water pump is turned off, because at the moment it's not, and as you can hear, it's now just frantically trying to fill the boiler back up again. So if I now flap this across, in a second, once the water has been drawn out of the aqua roll, the boiler will then be full again and the water pump will stop. When draining down, it's always a good idea, once you've lifted up this, to then go around and open up all your taps as well, because that will release any airlocks. But secondly, if we did get a harsh frost, hopefully the water would then be forced out the end of the taps into an icicle instead of splitting basically the pipes. When we're refilling, obviously make sure we're down like so, fill up your aqua roll, pop in your submersible and then turn the water pump on, and then basically we're wanting to blow all the air out of the system by running the taps. They'll cough and splutter. Once the water's running freely, then close them, and then the system will then fully prime back up again. Water pump just here, back of the battery box just here, and the main 12 volt fuse. Control board for the Truma motor mover just there, and then the consumer unit and battery charger just here. If we now pull down the front here, you will see the consumer unit itself, So we have the trip switches just here. So we have the 3 individual MCBs, RCD and test button, and they are labelled up on this sticker here. And then we have the 12 volt fuses just here, again numbered up and correspond on this sticker part here. We then have isolator switches for components that use main supply. So we have the water heater here, so if I turn this one off, it just will not work down here. We then have one for the electric element in the heater, so again turn that off and it will not work. And we can also turn the battery charger on and off, which again, obviously if you turn it off and you're hooked up to main supply, you will not be charging your leisure battery. The one that is not illuminated will let you know if you have reverse polarity connected to the van. If you do have reverse polarity connected, these more modern units will flip it and reverse it and make it safe. Next we have the location of the stereo, so that is just in here. On and off on this button here that says source, and then it's just flick through, so you've got your auxiliary here, AM and FM. Search for your radio stations, just on here.
Get out to exercise.
Volume control, etc. And then just hold the source button to turn back off again. We then have the Thetford fridge just here, on and off on this button here, and then we pick what power setting we want on this one here. So we're currently using main supply with the little picture of the 2-pin plug. If I now press, this one here is 12 volt maintain for when we're towing. We're going to get an error code at the moment because we're not hitched up to the tow vehicle. And then we can also run the fridge on gas on this little flame here. These fridges automatically ignite themselves. Again, if they fail to light, you'll see what we just saw very similar with the 12 volt. This blue light here will flash and we'll get a different error code number just here. This can also happen if we're on main supply and we haven't got mains connected to the van. Temperature control on this one here. And then to open, just pull the lever. And then to turn back off again, just hold. Obviously we have the sink. And then we have the electric hot plate and the 3 gas rings. For the electric hot plate, it's just this one here. And then for the gas rings, it's just push in, twist, and then press the igniter. There we go. Beneath that we have the grill. Again, just push in, twist, and press the igniter. And then the oven. Beneath the oven we have storage, but that's also where the hot plate is plugged in. And if we then move across to the one beside, we have the draining board and chopping board, etc. And we also have gas isolation taps. They are colour coded and then match on the sticker here. You will find them close by to wherever there's a gas appliance. They can all stay in the on position. Smell gas, I always say just go and turn the gas bottle off. Next we have the Trima fire. If we're going to use it on gas, just come to this one here and turn it. you can usually hear it ticking with the igniter. Hold down. Usually once the ticking stopped, it's a good indication that it's lit. You can also peer for the pilot light in the window, and usually when you let go, you'll get a whoosh. If I now turn it back off again, we can also run this fire on electric, and we just need to come up to this point here. So we have also here the external satellite aerial fly lead for the aerial on the roof, 12 volt connection and main supply. But the one beneath it controls the electric element in that fire. So we have an inner dial which just controls the convection, and then we have an outer dial. If we now flick it all the way down to 1000, we're now running on main supply at 1 kilowatt. We can run it on main supply at 500 watts, and if we flick it all the way up to the top, we can run it on main supply at 2 kilowatts. So just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on. You'll see the green light comes on to let you know it's in operation. Regardless of whether we are running on main supply or gas, this part here just controls the circulation fan that will then blow heat out of the air ducts around the caravan. All we do is we flick across to the left and then control the fan speed just here. The A will not work in this model of caravan. You do have to have another thermostat added. For the igniter, it is not hardwired to the 12 volt, so it does require a battery. So if we now just go underneath here, and I'll just slide this bit up here, basically just here underneath there is an AA battery. If we now move further on, we have the microwave. It's a good idea to make sure that the plate etc. has been removed for travel. It's a fairly standard microwave. You've got quick start here, stop etc. You can turn for your time etc. just there. It's plugged in just in this overhead cupboard here. In the wardrobe you will find the television aerial. So we have the amplifier just here, on and off on the top, and then we can control the boost just here. To raise and lower the aerial, just undo the collar here and then you can push up. Red dot represents the point of the aerial, so the front, so you can get into the location you require and then lock it into place. Never over tighten these because you can split them. The tail just allows us to flip the television aerial from horizontal to vertical if you need to do additional tuning. Do make sure that we are down for travel. Next we have the location of the freestanding table. And if we now move into the washroom, we have the Thetford toilet. This bowl does move all about. To open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever just here. And then push the flush on top. And now to close again. Level indicator here to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. We then have the basin just here, and then we have the shower cubicle just here. Do make sure that the shower screen is clipped back for travel. We have storage all underneath the dinette. To make up this dinette double bed, all we need to do is remove the table, like so, and then remove the pole, and then all we want to do is fill this gap with the table itself. So I'm just sliding it into place. It's a two-handed job, hence why I've had to put the camera down. But as you can see, it's now resting like so. Then all we need to do is take this cushion here and pop it here. Then we take this infill and pop it in like so. And then lastly we take this back rest here and pop it in just here.